seeking the accolades of the world. But some of us are actually seeking the accolades of the people who are needed to guide the future. And that's what you're doing every day with Blessings in a book bag, in a backpack. That's what's going on. When she's touching the airways, she's touching the lives of the people who need the guidance. They are our leaders in the future. And that's why when we did the moment, we want the moment of people to understand that we have great people doing great things right now. My sister Mahogany, and I go and say this, we go way back. And we've been sharing not just culture, but we've been sharing consciousness. And I see some of my other family members out there. What we do is not for ourselves, but it's for the family. It's for the ancestors. It's to carry on the legacy of greatness. And just like where we are now today in Ellis Square, this is a part of the legacy of our people. Because our people are all around here. That when you stand on the streets and the squares in this part of Savannah, you're standing on African handiwork. 20 Africans are brought out of Charleston and 4 brought out of Beaufort that lay out the streets and the squares. And these were young African men. And as I often share with folks, when you do that and you're touching this African soil, guess what you're doing? You're feeling Africa. You're feeling the genius of our ancestors. You're going back in time. You are feeling the spirit. Because the spirit resides within us, in our minds, in our hearts, and in our souls. And that you look at the engineering skills and mathematical skills of our ancestors. So many of us feel that we should be afraid of mathematics, afraid of the science, when it was your ancestors that brought to the world science. It was your ancestors who brought the world language, when we say Maduna Tur, when we talk about writing. Again, when we go back in time and understand the language, when we say Maduna Tur, that means sacred writing. That every word that comes out your mouth is sacred. That every word that you write down on a piece of paper, on the skirt, on the scroll, you are doing something that is sacred. We must understand that we are the masters of destiny. That we are the masters of the language, masters of the sciences. We are masters of our fate. We must make sure that our people are guided properly. And that Sister Mahogany, when I look at Majid, Yusuf, Lazarus, I see my brother Larry, I see my family, I see Commissioner Holmes, I see people who are touching the lives of our people. It is time out for Savannah, time out. Time out for us not to think that we are connected. We are all one. I have folks who come from around the world, and when I hit them with some things, they go and say, Jamal, we do that in Jamaica, we do that in Dominique, we do that in Haiti, we do that in Curacao, we do that in Ghana. They understand that we are one. It's time for African people here to understand that we are one so that we can sit to the table of humanity properly. And that we want our brothers and sisters who are Native people, who are Latino, who are Asians, who are Caucasians to understand that we all must sit to the table of humanity as equals. Because the story begins not in Europe, not in Asia, not in South America, but it goes back to Olmo. It goes back to Ethiopia. It goes back to Africa. And we say to people properly, we want African people to understand their story because you are Uku Chukwu, children of the sun. Uku Shams, children of the Most High. We say we are the children that must guide the rest of the family. And to my sister, we say thank you. We pay homage to you always. Ashe, Ashe, be it so. Amen.
Y'all give it up for